Welcome to Huntington Beach State Park in Murrells Inlet, South Carolina. This is one of our family's most beloved spots to visit. Come with me as we take you on a little tour. Hello friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. I am Jenny and we are in a slightly different location today than what we normally are. Welcome to Huntington Beach State Park. This is our family's, probably our top place to visit for vacation and relaxation. Huntington Beach is a South Carolina state park. It is technically located in Murrells Inlet, South Carolina, but really it's just between south of Murrells Inlet and just north of Pawleys Island. It is a fantastic state park that has over 2,500 acres, so it is a nice sized park. It has 3 miles of absolutely gorgeous, pristine beaches that are just a fantastic nature preserve. And even in the height of summer, Huntington has about 170 campsites. So even when it's at full capacity, the beach is still really empty. So we love coming here in the summer because it is not crowded, it's very relaxed, and you can just see, I mean, look at this beautiful beach. For those of you that are not from the Southeast United States, maybe this is the first time you have seen a beach like this. It is fantastic. It has got huge, wide beaches with this beautiful sand, and it's just a wonderful place to come and relax. So we just thought it would be really fun to kind of take you on a tour of what Huntington Beach State Park has to offer and why it is so important that we support both our state parks and our national federal parks, because they offer just such a great escape for us to come and see how nature would be if it was untouched pretty much by man, and to come and just view nature as it is. Of course, we've got the great dunes back here. The dunes play such an important role in the erosion control of the beach, and just beyond that are marshes and maritime forest. Here at Huntington, we get lots of loggerhead sea turtles that will come and lay their nest, create their nest and lay their eggs here in the summertime. So it's really fun to come in the summer, and you'll see areas that are fenced off with the signs, because the turtle watchers have known that those are where the nests are and they are protected. Huntington, which is really neat, there have been over 300 different species of birds spotted in this park. It is just massive, and it offers just a great respite for these birds to come, whether they're migrating or they're native, that they live here year round, to live, to breed, to raise their young, and then move on if they need to. So again, we just thought it would be really fun to take you on a tour of what this park has to offer and to welcome you into the South Carolina State Parks. The park offers this fantastic nature center that you can come and explore some of just the natural environments, and just that if you have kids, to bring it, and little science part and history of the center. Interesting fact, a couple of years ago, the original nature center was actually struck by lightning and burned to the ground. So this is the second edition, the newest edition of the nature center. Our family loves coming here because you can see some of the live animals. They have just a couple. I think they're kind of refilling their supply of animals, but along with that is a great boardwalk out to the marsh that you can just go and explore everything from the edge of the water all the way out into the marsh. When you come across the causeway here at Huntington, on your right is the freshwater lake, and on the left is the saltwater marsh. We are here on the pier of the saltwater marsh that comes out from the nature center. It obviously is low tide, and you can see really just the extensive how much the tide rises and falls because of the banks. You will also notice that right now behind me is the channel, one of the main channels to the estuary in the marsh. So it still has quite a bit of water in it. The rest of the marsh is pretty much waterless right now. We're just like an hour or so away from the complete low tide. But what is so neat about this area is that you can really see all the oyster beds that they have been now exposed, that the water has gone down. And oysters are fantastic. One, they're delicious to eat, and then two, they actually work like kind of the filtration system of the marsh, because they're sucking in all that water, they cleanse it, and then out it goes. So oysters are, a little known fact, is just that kind of the filter of the marsh. But there's tons of wildlife here, lots of crabs and the birds, just all sorts of neat things, not to mention the grasses, all sorts of great things to look at. And it's just fun to come and see this area. And once that tide goes down, you get to see all the little critters that are lying beneath the water. Huntington Beach State Park provides such a great area for birding and just observing nature as it is intended to be. If you know anything about this area, I mean, this is a really populated area, but because it's a state park, it is protected land, and you have this great reserve and respite for all these animals. This particular area, there's tons of different varieties of birds that come here. They come and they breed and they raise their young. Of course, all their migratory birds can stop here. There's always something new to see. And you just have this diverse ecosystem between all of the native plants and the animals. And it's just a really neat area to come and to see what this ecosystem down here in the coastal regions of South Carolina has to offer. One of the best parts of Huntington Beach, in our family's opinion, is that it is such a vast nature preserve, and there are lots of even alligators here, so the kids are running around. But there is a baby alligator sunning himself on the little island right there. We have gotten and seen massive alligators here before, and it is December, so it is some of the coldest weather that Huntington is going to have, and the alligators are not as active as they are when we were here back at the end of June. So there's just tons of things to see. Of course, right here, there's a little bit of an alligator slide, but they go back and forth across the sidewalk. So there's always something to be discovered. You just have to slow down and look for it. Emily has spotted something, so we'll figure out what she is looking at. It's another alligator. So let's just move on down here. So let's see if we can see.
See, straight in front of you, gotta get down right here and you can see his head. It's a little baby.
Okay. So see, this is what we call an alligator slide, is that little slope. So this is the path that they walk up and down. And that one is just a little bit of a baby. You can just see his little head and nose poking up. There are some that get absolutely massive here. There are no barriers between us, the humans, and nature, but everybody really respects themselves, each other, and there's not been any kind of issues, and that's what is so fun about coming here, because you just get to get up close and personal with nature. Perhaps one of the most well-known pieces of Huntington Beach State Park is Atalaya. Atalaya Castle was built by Archer Huntington and his wife Anna between 1931 and 1933. Archer was a philanthropist from New York City and designed the house to be a winter residence for him and his wife after she was diagnosed with tuberculosis. He designed the plans himself based on Spanish or Moorish architecture coupled with his own imagination. Anna, who was an artist and sculptor, did her part as well and designed the wrought iron grills that serve as hurricane protection on all the windows. The castle has 30 rooms laid out around 3 sides of a courtyard. In the center of the courtyard, surrounded by native plants, is a water tower that is 40 feet tall, after which the house was named. Atalaya means watchtower in Spanish. Various other areas included indoor and outdoor studios for Anna to work on her art, animal enclosures where they kept bears, horses, monkeys, and a leopard. Archer insisted that the house be built by local laborers to help boost the economy of the region during the Depression years. They employed many local people to work at the house and gardens as well, and were known as very good employers. The house was situated on the ocean within an estate that originally consisted of over 9,000 acres of mixed land. They used part of that acreage to build the first public sculpture garden, known as Brook Green Gardens, to showcase Anna's work. During World War II, the Huntingtons left Atalaya and let the United States Air Corps use it as barracks. The men patrolled the beach and operated a radar unit from the house. Other than a crashed plane on the beach, the house was unaffected. The Huntingtons returned to Atalaya in 1946 and 1947. After that, Anna's studio was moved to another portion of the property in Brook Green Gardens, and the rest of the furnishings that weren't donated elsewhere were sent to Connecticut after the death of Archer in 1955. Anna visited the house again only 2 more times in 1956 and 1958. In 1960, 2,500 acres of the former estate, including the house and sculpture garden, was leased for free to the state of South Carolina. Huntington Beach State Park was formed and now maintains the house and grounds and offers guided tours during part of the year. For the past 37 years, an art festival has been held on the grounds in September every year. Atalaya Castle was placed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1984 to preserve the history of Anna Hyatt Huntington and her husband Archer Huntington. It remains a unique and vital piece of South Carolina history. One of our favorite things to do as a family when we are at Huntington is to ride our bicycles throughout the park. There are fantastic trails and roads that offer just the perfect bike paths for families to enjoy a leisurely ride throughout the park. In the summertime, we always enjoy going out for a nice long bike ride after supper because, honestly, that is the coolest part of the day and we don't sweat to death while we ride our bicycles. But there is a great path that leads straight out of Atalaya where on both sides you are surrounded by the beautiful marshes that just are filled with all sorts of nature, both those great alligators and the birds. And then perhaps my absolute favorite part of Huntington Beach is the fantastic forests and woods that are just within the acreage of the park. There are massive old pine trees and my most favorite tree of all, the live oaks. Live oaks are slow-growing trees, so when you see a massive live oak covered in Spanish moss, you know that it has withstood the test of time. It has survived many hurricanes and strong summer winds and the heat, but yet they still stand strong and majestic. I encourage you, if you're ever in the area of Huntington, that you really need to stop by. If you have the chance to camp there, do it. And if you're only there for a day or for a couple of hours, I really encourage you to stop by and see all of the beautiful surroundings that Huntington Beach has to offer you. And if you're not close to South Carolina, then I encourage you to reach out and go exploring in the neighborhoods and the state parks and just the nature that is surrounding you. I hope you have enjoyed seeing a little sneak peek into one of our favorite places for our family to go and visit. And as we leave, I just want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the beautiful scenes of Huntington Beach State Park. Y'all have a great day, and as always, thank you for gardening with Creekside.